coming over from Dark Souls, I mean, visually, it's not fair to make the comparison because Dark Souls is a last generation. I'm playing it on Xbox 360,
Right.
and this is PS4. They have definitely kept the visuals going with the hardware, so that's excellent. Playability, it looks like this one is slightly easier to control your character. The sticks feel kind of heavy and sluggish. It could just be that my Xbox is really old. It looks like this controls a lot tighter. And also the animations look like they've been tightened up a lot more.
Yeah, the controls are a lot tighter, and I think a lot of that's because you can't block anymore, so they had to...
Oh, there is no longer a block function?
There is like one shield in the game, like a wooden shield that's worthless, from what I understand. So like, yeah, you have to either dodge or attack. I think that to make that part of this game, they had to address the control issues from the previous, because the previous ones are like almost as good as Skyrim fighting. Like it's not really that great. Like it's more of a technical, like you're overcoming a bad battle system to be good at the game, if that makes sense.
It really doesn't feel that way though.
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't. But like if you like think about it, it's like there could be like, and then Bloodborne's an example where they could have made it a little bit more stuff to do.
You know what though? That's one criticism I have of Bloodborne is that I think that the improvements they made on controls and playability have kind of detracted from the dig your eyeballs out challenge of the previous games in the series.
Yeah, I've only tried to break my controller in half in my hands like twice, and I've played 6 hours, so that's like
really
30 times less than what you usually do when you play this game.
Yeah, wow, that may actually speak to the game's ability to carry on the torch.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you have both parts in it, and you're just trying to twist it in half because you're just like can't believe you did something. Like some guy with a pitchfork kills you for no reason. You've killed him 1,000 times, then this time he owns you, and you lose 6,000 blood echoes or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that this is different enough from the original series that someone could argue I don't like it because it's not Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and that will cause like, and I would say, okay, I get that. Like it's different enough that you could say I just prefer the other one, but for me, I think it's across the board improvements.
It does seem though like if you spent the energy in Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls 2 to get good at them and to be able to beat them, which one day I look forward to being able to beat Dark Souls. If you've honed the skill set to make it through one of these games and then you load up Bloodborne, you just might stomp straight through it.
Yeah.
The healing items as drops is one huge example where the previous games, if you want to renew your healing items, you've got to go back and respawn every single enemy.
Yeah, and
other than very few occasions where you'll get some.
And you can farm to the point that they're getting sent straight to your storage up to 99. So you can have some extra in stock in your storage. You don't like, you can't just like, well, I have 20, I should use them because I'm maxed out anyways. You can just keep and you accumulate. So you can run around with 20 health potions most of the time, especially when you're getting ready to fight a big boss.
Well, and also I noticed here in this game, you're willing to run with a non-zero level of blood echoes.
Right.
Whereas in Dark Souls, when you finally get to a campfire
or
a bonfire,
you use them up as much as you can.
You find a merchant, you spend every soul you have because the next place you go, you're going to die. And here you look confident enough to carry things around with you.
And even if you're like within 1,000 of leveling up, you just go farm the closest things to you that are easy until you know that you've spent all of your blood. You know, I've pushed through this game pretty quick. It feels like I think that I still don't know why they called it something different. It's not different enough that it couldn't have been Demon Souls 2.
Yeah, that's one I don't understand the blood echoes thing, especially for a series with no storytelling.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. It's the blood echoes function exactly as the souls do in the previous games of the series.
I don't know.
You know, I would say though, for popularity, zombies were popular. I mean, they still continue to be, but the zombie popularity curve has kind of edged back off where The Walking Dead is the biggest show on the block again. And vampire werewolf drama.
It's up. Well, that's the weird thing. Like, I think the people that we've been fighting are supposed to just be alive, normal people.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like, that they're some folk from the countryside.
Right, but they still have the walking of a zombie. like the zombies specifically from Dark Souls and Demon Souls. So it makes it so, like, I think they should have changed their walking mannerisms to make you feel like you're killing people rather than just killing different types of zombies.
I mean, they look like crazy people.
Yeah.
Or it could have just been some studio executive looked at the final product and said, "You guys, zombies are so so last year.
I need this reskin."
Yeah.
No, I like I said, I've beaten the previous 3, and I want to beat this one. There's also cutscenes that we saw. So that's kind of cool. They've added that. They've upped their game, put some cutscenes in.
A little bit more storytelling than we're used to seeing from
Nah, it's
Yeah, I
not
don't
more
see it.
storytelling. It's just like a cutscene of no explanation.
Yeah.
this. For example, I don't understand.
So the next boss you will see, there'll be a cutscene where he just says, "You'll turn out like them," and that's the whole cutscene.
Oh, maybe it will unveil a story. In the previous games of the series, like big cinematic events will happen, but the player is always in control of the camera. So a huge dragon might fly overhead, but if you're busy investigating a corpse, the dragon's just going to breeze by and you'll catch nothing. This game, it seems, is going to make you watch the cool things that they set up.
There is an example of where so in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, they have the trademark dragon flies over a bridge and scorches it. That's like a standard thing. And in this one, like to show that this is easier, it's just a guy pushing a burning ball down the bridge, and then you can dodge it. You can just step left and
Wait a minute, this game does still have a bridge cleansed by fire? Wait,
Yeah.
did I see that?
No, you haven't.
Okay,
Seen it.
all
No,
right.
no, it's a little bit after this. So like they still do the trademark thing, but they make it so much easier. Like it's like this is how you sum up how much easier this is compared to everything else.
I mean, the giant dragon in Dark Souls that torches the bridge, you can sprint across the bridge and duck to the side. In
Yeah.
fact, it's the only way to advance.
The one, yeah, and the one in Dark Souls you can also use at the farm, pretty heavy.
Farm on
The-
just let him.
Yeah,
Huh. I may have to revisit
yeah,
that.
yeah. You just run up. He scorches the dead people. You reset, run up, scorches the dead people. You just keep doing that.
Wait, do you get souls for when they get killed? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, if people just fall to their death, you get souls. And the same thing in Bloodborne. Like I've gotten souls from someone who was mad at me apparently, and then like I'll just be sitting there, and then it's like, and like the blood echoes come to me. I'm like, oh, someone must have died somewhere.
Wow, that's I've got some farming to do,
Yeah,
or not. I don't know. I like the struggle.
yeah. They I think they still do the part where like you like see a pit of dead bodies, and there's like a little shiny thing in the middle, and you know that those dead bodies are going to come get you, and like they have little storytelling elements like that they do so well, because you know that this is going to be terrible, and then like for example in that you think that they're going to get up and attack you, so you're ready for them, and then so you get ready to like do a spinning attack on them, and instead they don't get up, they just kind of drag themselves towards you, so you miss all of them with your spin, and like so like you thought you knew the joke coming, but you didn't. They actually are acid spewing monsters that don't get up and attack you. They just spit acid at you, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, lesson learned.
yeah. No, I think this is the best of the series for me. I don't actually like Dark Souls 2.
No, I haven't played it, and I guess I won't.
The best of the series. Quite the compliment.
Yeah,
And on this game for sure, if you hadn't played the previous ones, you can go straight into it.
yeah, oh, absolutely. You can play any of those series without playing the previous one.
Yeah, I've only ever played the second of the series, and it doesn't matter. It's if you play Contra, if you play Super Contra, you're playing Contra, and that's what this is.
Dark Souls 2 arguably does everything on a grander scale than Dark Souls, but it's just one of those ones where it just doesn't give me the magical feel as the second one did. And Demon Souls, like, will always have, like, you have to, like, temper your remembering of it because of nostalgia, because that was, like, the first of the series. So you can always say, well, that one was the best because it was the first. But I say, from what I've played, I've already enjoyed this one more than I did Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2.
It does. It seems like by keeping the frustration factor to a slightly lower level, that it would be more enjoyable to play. Because Dark Souls, the beauty of Dark Souls is it helps me not play as much
Mm-hmm.
because You die twice for me, and I'm like, okay, it's time to quit playing games
Yeah.
and do other things.
No, I don't know. I don't know how they've managed to make you die and it's okay, but they did, and it's like I see games try to emulate it, and that's the thing they always get wrong is the satisfaction of dying that this game gives you, the lack of it, but the want to go do it again. Like other games have tried to be like this quasi roguelike, but they just haven't hit the mark. Even if they almost emulate it exactly. Like I don't know what it is.
Okay, you use the phrase quasi roguelike, and I think you've explained this to me before, but what do you mean?
Roguelike is if you die, you lose your character, more or less. And this is quasi roguelike, where if you die, you lose all your experience you've gained on that run, and you could permanently lose it if you die again.
Wait. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So
That took way too long for me to process.
yeah. So like roguelike would be and I think this might have a setting, or I might be thinking of another game, but like roguelike would be like the first time I died, that was the end of the game. And then this is quasi roguelike, where you are horribly punished for dying, but not to the point that you have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually prefer playing games where if you die, you're done.
Yeah, me too.
Like Torchlight. That's why I play Torchlight.
Mm-hmm.
Although Torchlight, the game was designed, well, it was not designed with hardcore in mind. They call it hardcore.
Yeah.
And so there are some situations where you just die.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are traps that will kill you instantly on easy mode.
Yeah.
And that'll end your entire game.
Yeah, and all you did was open a box.
Yeah.
And it was trapped. So you essentially have to play around that by not opening boxes.
Yeah. Diablo 3, I prefer hardcore mode, but I can't get any of my friends to play that style because they're like, what do you mean if
I love hardcore mode.
Yeah,
I just don't like Diablo 3.
Yeah, but no, I prefer hardcore mode. I like it makes it because I like the rehash characters. Like you play Skyrim, Alex, you play Skyrim all the way through with one character.
Yes.
I have like 40 characters. I've
Made it halfway through.
Well, I probably beat it 20 times, like the three arcs.
How?
'Cause
That's such a huge game.
I know.
How do you play so many games and play each game so much? Do you just not sleep?
Well, Skyrim I got into while I was not working for like 8 months.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah.
So, but for me, I reinvent characters all the time. And like I don't like max them out. I just like, complete 3 major story arcs for example in Skyrim. So the hardcore mode matches my general playstyle more. I don't want a character that I've sat like 600 hours into. I just don't care at some point.
I think the most I got was about 350 hours. That was my reintroduction to video games, and my introduction to the Elder Scrolls series was an ankle surgery.
Okay.
I was laid up for 2 weeks and on drugs and just like, oh God.
Was it Oblivion?
Yeah, Oblivion.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought an Xbox 360 and just no, I think I already had the Xbox, but I started playing Xbox 360 because I couldn't walk. And then
is there anything from these type of games, just to wrap up, is there anything from these type of games that you would like to see that you haven't seen included so far?
I don't understand the question.
Like Skyrim introduced, like has a leveling system, or Skyrim and Oblivion have like a specific skill leveling system. Would that be something you want to see here, where like the guy can like have like illusion skills or healing skills or fire, like where it's like as elaborate as other RPGs?
So this one, the leveling system seems to be surviving until you can afford another level up. Whereas the Elder Scrolls, it is your character gains experience and abilities by using those abilities.
Right.
The whole practice makes perfect idea. So I don't think, seeing as that one goes for one big continuous character and story continuity idea, this one doesn't. This one is, I revert back to Contra when I think of this game. It's all about, well, I mean, Contra, 3 lives and it's done. That's the dumbest thing in the world. But this one's about, live till you can level up. So I wouldn't think that those could really fit into here.
Okay.
Because if you could just die over and over again and your heavy weapon skill is leveling on its own, well, then just die over and over again. There's no purpose in learning it if it's just going to become awesome by losing over and over.
What about like a true co-op multiplayer where like you don't summon someone in and out, like you actually can just play the game together?
Because of, I would say because of the limited amount of time I devote to actually playing games, I have no use for co-op because I feel like the people who want to play co-op games are willing to sit down and play for 8 hours.
Right.
And I'm the bulk of the time. There are certain times
Like
where
you can't schedule when you're going to play your game. Like you can
not whatsoever.
You just go, I got some time, I'll pop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like during the weekdays, I might play a game for a bit. Well, really, it depends on what my wife's up to. If she's busy doing school stuff, then yeah, I sit quietly and play Xbox, so she has peace and quiet to study.
Right.
But if it's, I mean, if she's not busy, we're telling each other fart jokes and stuff and touching each other.
For me, so Dragon Age 3 had this little extra thing that they threw in where it's multiplayer that played like over the shoulder Diablo, like right over the shoulder Diablo, like it was quick dungeon runs. And like, I think they're getting ready to make like a Diablo-esque committed type game where like you play multiplayer just like Diablo, except over the shoulder.
And by they, you mean BioWare? Okay.
I would like to see these guys try to do the same thing where like same battle style, same leveling up system, same like failing, like you can't revive people when they die type thing.
Yeah, I see this franchise having friendly fire and no ability to disable
exactly.
it. And I don't...
Like you'd have to really be friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be worse than New Super Mario Brothers Wii, where...
Yeah. Like for example, that ball of fire I was talking about, it rolls across a bridge and then into a pit where there's other bad guys. It'd be interesting if you could do co-op where you can get like the one guy funnels all the bad guys to where it falls, and then the other guy gets the ball to initiate, so you can like work together to clear out areas like that, like a puzzle, like solving puzzles that way, where it kind of almost like it's meant to be played co-op, but it's not a must. Like these games are excellent. Like there's not very many games series I can say I've beat every one of them.
No, and to have an unforgiving difficulty level that you forgive. Like the game does not forgive you, but you're like, oh, okay, I'll try again. Like that's a great element. And I don't know.
Actually, that could be the reason they not very often in this game do you feel like the game. You never say, "Oh, the game's broken." You can go, "No, I definitely walked into that like an idiot and I died. That's why I died." Whereas other games, you can go, "God, it's game's fault. My controller's stupid."
Yeah, I do think I actually had to like switch out an Xbox controller because I've had it set like the left stick on one of my Xbox controllers. You can't hold straight forward anymore.
You can't play Dark Souls with a bad stick.
No,
you'll just
exactly.
you get so mad.
Well, especially one person invaded my world at some point and they didn't kill me. They like gestured, follow me, and then they were walking me through the area, and I'm trying to hold up, and I can't do it, so I have to hold up, but at like the 1 o'clock position. So now I'm running sideways. It was god awful, and then they just bailed out of my world and were like, "Hey, send me a message if you ever need help. Let me know."
Oh, that's nice. I've never had that happen.
No,
if there's a person you're just.
Every other person, it's like someone has invaded your realm.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If you don't get on the ground level of leveling up in these games, you're going to play it 2 years later, and some level of billion is going to be like just waiting to kill you.
Yeah. Although I did have someone in gigantic heavy armor come at me, and I totally had them, and I blew it.
Oh, well,
so
nice.
That was because they were way overpowered, but they were moving so slow.
I had this one in Dark Souls where the guy kept trying to do a super move where he like plunges his fist into your heart, and that's the only move he was going to kill me with. And we battled that way, but he was like so many levels above me. He finally got me. I wouldn't mind a Bloodborne 2, depending on where the storyline goes, or heck, they could
storyline.
What
are you talking about?
I don't know. I was thinking also it'd be cool if they did the same setup except on a sci-fi level, where like you have like a laser sword instead. No, nothing.
A laser sword, like a light saber,
a plasma sword. I'm trying not to use some copyrights here.
Right. I don't know. I should get into science fiction, but for some reason I really don't.
Oh, okay.
And I got like speculative fiction. Gravity and Interstellar were really fun, although I didn't like Interstellar.
Science fiction is my favorite, both movies and video games.
I did love Mass Effect. Mass Effect was, you know what, you're right. And I should watch Star Trek The Next Generation because I bet I would love it, but I was just too young.
Yeah.
So there's me in sci-fi.
All right. Yeah. At some point when I beat it, I would like to talk about this again. But yeah, I would suggest getting it. I can't completely suggest it since I haven't beat it, but yeah, I would say that this is worth $60.
Yeah. I hope they continue the series so that when I do buy a console, the PS5 or
You
something.
can just play through them.
Yeah. Even though hell, Dark Souls is pretty old, right?
Mhm.
2011 or something, and it's still an absolute blast. So even if the series stops here, I'll play Bloodborne.
Yeah, forever.